Hey, what is going on, everyone? This is the Spegmeister, and welcome to one of my bonus guides for Halo 3 ODST's Legendary Campaign. For this particular guide, I'm going to use the Street Smart playlist in MCC. This will allow me to complete the entirety of Mombasa Streets without having to play any of the flashback missions. Now, to make this a little more interesting, I have a couple of modifiers. One is that I can't use any enemy weapons, and the second is I can't rely on the weapon caches. What this means is that I'll largely have to rely on my loadout that I start each segment of my journey to get through from point A to point B.
Accurate diagnosis, or your money back.
Making our way down to the roundabout, allow the two patrols to separate and the Phantom to leave before you open fire. As I would normally, use the SMG to strip the shields off the brute, and then you can pull out your sidearm and land a headshot on him. After you clear the final patrol in the area, you'll have a couple of prompts appearing on screen. Approach the nearest phone, and you'll download the city map. As all that is going on, we'll head over to the security door, which will take us off towards the first beacon. Now, entering this courtyard, I would probably assassinate one grunt if possible, but otherwise I'll just open fire, try to clear this out a little bit faster. So heading into this building, we'll take the stairs to the upper level, which is where we'll find our first beacon. One well-placed frag should deal with those two jackals. And from there, we'll head up to find the helmet on the screen, and that will do it. Our journey to Uplift Reserve is going to be very similar to what I took in my standard legendary guide. The only difference is simply the loadout that I'm working with.
Hold the creature still! Place the charge before I lose my grip. It's armed, ready to explode if any human gets too close. Give it room, let it do the prophet's work.
Under the most ideal circumstances, as I showed here, you should be able to run up to those brutes and assassinate each and every one of them without alerting them, but there is the off chance that one will turn around as you do that. But the huge benefit behind using that tactic is simply that I don't have to waste any of my SMG to handle them. Now this intersection is one possible spot to locate a patrol, but by this point, if you happen to have saved your SMG, you're gonna be in good shape. Now unfortunately, that also could mean that you alert this invisible brute to your location, so keep an eye out for him. The patrol that I'm looking at the top of the hill is one that normally isn't going to be there, but is something that you will have to keep in mind.
Everyone, stay together. I tracked him down. This is for you!
And there's one more patrol on the other side. Fortunately, this one does not have an engineer associated with it. I'm gonna play that one a little more aggressively, knowing there is a health station close by. And we'll make our way to this blast door. And on the other side, we'll find our beacon. When you do enter this sector, make sure to pull up your map, see where the Jackal Sniper is positioned, headshot him, and then you're all good to head over to the beacon. Into our third leg of the journey, we're going to take a slightly different route to reach Kizingo Boulevard's beacon. Instead of heading to the south and down the street where we would normally encounter a larger patrol, we're going to backtrack. And instead we're going to find that there are no enemies present in this previous sector. This will give us about a good minute and a half before we engage any certain enemies. That's the blast door that I would normally exit from, and then I would just follow this path and up the hill. So once you get up to this corner, I would pause, pull up the map, see if you can locate the jackal sniper that is close by. This is one particular area where you'll find them. This is actually one of 3 spots where you'll see them. But your best bet is to simply use your SMG to draw them out of cover. Then you can swap over to your pistol and headshot him. So rather than going through the roundabout where all the turrets are stationed, we're going to hang a left and we're going to do a little bit more backtracking. That sniper that is up on this bridge, you will have to watch out for him. I would absolutely take him out before you pass through. Again, I like to quickly have a look at the map, see if there is a jackal sniper on this bridge. This time there wasn't. I would say there's about a 1 in 2, 1 in 3 chance that there will be one there, but this time I didn't have to worry about it. Now there are some enemies present in this little plaza, but because they're off to the side, they're not on my direct route, I'll just ignore them. Head through the security door, pass through this courtyard, and then we're gonna head through the remainder of this little building before we get up and towards our beacon. So this is a fairly easy part. You may only engage a little more than a half dozen enemies in total. So take the stairs to the top level, you'll find the Gauss turret ahead. Before I do hit that beacon, I do want to go after this jackal sniper on the opposite side, and then we're all done. So yeah, 7 enemies. You know, assuming you don't have to kill the first jackal sniper that I encountered, you would only have a half dozen. Before I leave this perch, I want to wait for the Phantom to deploy its troops and take out the 2 jackal snipers at least before I can move down. So first I'll go after the one that is in the center. This other one should also make its way to that area, and we'll do the same for him. Now we can focus our attention on the two brutes down below. You have a couple of grenades on this building, so feel free to use them. See about trying to strip the shields off of each brute. But even if you don't land your grenades properly, that's okay. You should be in just fine shape for this part. From what I see up ahead, before we head through the blast door into the rally point, we do have a patrol up ahead. This one will consist of a couple of camo brutes and a jackal sniper. Now, the way I would handle this is to take the long way around, get as far as you can from these brutes. I would try to remain down here, use the SMG to kind of pepper them, strip their shields, and then we can move up to the blast door and enter through to the rally point. But if the other brute isn't cooperating and he's just trying to hide, I would simply move up and see about meleeing him. Just be aware that he can use his firebomb grenades to absolutely wreck you. Just like I have in the previous part, we'll pull up the map again, see where we can locate the jackal snipers. Or the jackal sniper, I should say. There's only one in this rally point. So take out the sniper if he's opposite of your approach into the sector. And then what I would do is keep pressing forward, loop around, get up to this raised platform, and then kind of survey the area, get an idea where these camo brutes are going to run. And then you can focus your attention on them, as well as the shielded jackals and the jackal marksman. Feel free to use your frag grenades at this point. You really shouldn't have to worry about saving them. So before I go after the remaining brutes, I'm gonna back off, collect a health kit. You'll find a couple in this corner. And then we'll try to close in on those brutes. My top priority is to get the last of the camo brutes out of the way. Then taking down the captain will be much easier to handle. So the best way to handle the captain is to simply use whatever cover you can find.
I found him.
And then your goal is to simply get behind him, assassinate him, and that will take care of the problem. When you're all done clearing the rally point, head through the tunnel. You'll have 5 grunts and a brute captain. And by this point, hopefully you saved enough of your SMG to at least strip the shields off of the captain. And then you can take care of whatever remaining grunts that you find. With that said and done, then we can run up to the beacon, collect it, and that will take care of this segment in our journey. So as we head off to NMPD HQ, our goal is simply to, at first, we're going to backtrack through the rally point. We'll have a pretty decent sized group to engage. There'll be 3 jackal snipers and a couple of jetpacking brutes. So I like to pull up the map. There is going to be a sniper again on the upper rooftops. And what I like to do is simply get below his position, beneath his position, and then we can at first target the 2 snipers that are near our level. If the other sniper on the opposite side is hidden and behind cover, then you can simply focus your attention on the jump jet brutes, take them down. But from what I can tell, that sniper was alerted. Stuck out his head long enough to get a headshot on him. Take care of the second of the brutes. And then we can take care of the sniper on the upper level. And from here, there's only one guaranteed enemy that I have to worry about between myself and the beacon. So this part, outside of the rally point, it's pretty much a walk in the park compared to many of the other segments as we go through the Mombasa Streets. So rather than taking the streets and kind of following a more direct route, we're gonna bypass that, head through these alleys. And what you'll find back here is just one jackal sniper. But this guy is just wandering on patrol. You'll be able to get up close to him. You could even attempt to melee him if you wish, but at this point, you got plenty of ammo. You might as well take advantage of this situation and make it as easy as possible. Now, there is one potential danger as you enter this sector, and that is if there is an enemy ghost present. So if you see a red dot that is moving unusually quick, that means there is a vehicle present on the map. But this time there wasn't one, so I'm able to simply just keep running along. And then we can head off to the beacon. There's Romeo's sniper rifle. To kick off this leg in our journey, we'll run up to this building, take cover here momentarily as the Phantom lowers and will soon deploy its troops. But once it does get down to its lowest point, I would run up to this truck, look off to your right hand side, and wait for the sniper to appear at the street post. And if you're also pretty lucky, you can also find the second sniper on your left. If he's out in the open, I would take him out right away. And then you'll be free to move around and clear up the two brutes that are present. From there, we'll be able to move out from this location and off to the next beacon. As you get up to this intersection, we'll hang a left shortly after, but this is a potential spot to find a patrol or two. Have yourself ready to engage them. Once more, we'll have a couple of shielded jackals. I would pull up your map here at this point, see if you can locate the jackal sniper. You don't have to worry about him if he's on this far rooftop, but I'm gonna take the risk and see if I can snipe him, assuming he can show up. But it doesn't look like he's gonna cooperate. And I don't want to head that way, so I'll just simply leave him alone. So as you approach this courtyard, watch out for the sniper that is in the center. There's also going to be one on this building ahead.
Need immediate medical assistance? Choose
There he is. Just in a slightly different location than where I saw him in my standard guide. But once you've cleared out these enemies, then you're all good to head off to the beacon. Okay, so now after having done all that, we haven't even gone through the toughest part in our journey. That is what we're going to put up with here. Now, if I were able to work with the Covenant weapons, this wouldn't be so much of an issue. But using my starting loadout and any frag grenades that I can find on the field, this is going to be a pretty sizable challenge, especially for legendary difficulty. So first thing you'll want to do after you clear out the grunts that are near the station, head down to your left hand side. And the idea is to try close in on some of these jetpacking brutes. You probably will be able to take out one of them with a quick set of melee attacks, but the other one will probably retreat after the fact. I would try to use as little ammo as you can against those two brutes. You're really going to need it for the others. Before we do tackle any other brutes, your next order of business should be to take out the Jackal Sniper. And then locate the brute captain. You should make him a early priority by this point. Now, if you take down the captain and potentially one or two other brutes, you can lure out the other Jackal Sniper, and that'll give you a slightly easier approach into this sector. But if these brutes start to move into cover, we're probably going to end up having to backtrack a little bit. And we're going to have to take a different way in to go and take care of the chieftain. And this is something that I'm not exactly a huge fan of doing because it means we'll have to tackle a couple of hunters. And without the use of power weapons or even plasma grenades, those hunters are going to be a pretty massive challenge for us. So, if you struggle trying to get those brutes out of cover, loop all the way around following this route. You'll see one hunter ahead. The second one I would anticipate to be over here. Sometimes he could be further back, but in my case he was not there, so what I'm gonna have to do is simply move in. Fortunately, I took a hit from him. That was something I wish I could have avoided. And with him opening fire, it means that his bond brother is also going to be alerted to this battle. So don't open fire on these hunters. Use a series of melee attacks to bring them down. It's not the most fun way to handle it, but it's the only viable solution that I really have. As soon as you catch them in this motion, you'll be able to easily avoid their melee attacks, but it gets to be a little bit repetitive, and you'll also feel a little dizzy after doing it. I would expect it would take about a dozen hits, if not more, to bring down these hunters. But as soon as you take down the first one, if you don't see, well, now that I see the other one, I'm going to make my way over here, see if I can locate a health kit. There are two over here. Now we'll go after his second brother. Again, just repeat the same strategy, get him to go through into this melee attack. Once you catch him in it, then you're going to have an easy time. And it's going to be easier to take down the second one because you won't have the first one to have to worry about. And there we go. Finally got that hunter. Now with these two jump jet brutes down below, I would recommend using a couple of grenades again. See if you can at least strip their shields. Don't have to worry about killing them with their grenades. There are two more frag grenades present on the field, but I really don't want to lean on them quite yet. Now here we have three more brutes, and then the chieftain. Beyond that, there is one more Jackal sniper present. So take your time at this point. If you've already eliminated the captain, this isn't going to be so bad. We're going to have to use a little bit of misdirection to handle the chieftain himself, but the idea is to kill everything else, including the last of the snipers, before we move in and deal with this problem. We are really close to our endpoint, but we can't quite reach it simply because of that chieftain. So I'm trying to lure out that sniper, but I'm not seeing him over there. So he's still hidden up that street. We're gonna have to move up, loop around some more, and then we can deal with him. Now, instead of going that way and killing the sniper first, I'm gonna have to try to get this chieftain's attention one more time. Get him looking down the far street instead, the one that I originally went down. And I want him to keep staring that way all the way until I can deal with the sniper and then move up on him. By doing that, I won't have to worry about him firing on me as I try to close in and get a melee on him. That's really the only way I can deal with him. So if you do manage to loop around, maybe you can get your eyes on the sniper. I do see him here. Now we're going to have to loop around the long way and see if we can take down the chieftain. I could try to move in and see if I can, you know, get really lucky, dodge his attacks. But he fires the fuel rod so quickly that it is not worth the risk at this point. And I'm already so far along in this journey that I don't want to jeopardize this run. So yeah, this is going to be a much longer segment in our journey, simply for the fact that I can't rely on the power weapons. Of course, taking down those hunters, not the most fun thing to do without a rocket launcher or a sniper rifle. Even if I had some plasma grenades and could have used those against them, that would have been nice, but oh well. So as we're heading over here, you won't have to worry about any enemies on this side of this sector. And even though I have all the weapon caches unlocked, and there is one in this sector, we don't have access to it in this part. So here I see the chieftain. He is facing away from me. So I'm going to hug this wall as much as possible. And we're going to see if we can move up and get the assassination on him. And that is going to do it. So even if he gets alerted at the last possible second, you should be close enough where he's not going to fire on you. And then you can eliminate him. And that is going to do it for this run through the Mombasa Streets in its entirety. So I hope you guys enjoyed this walkthrough. Thank you all for joining in on this episode. I had quite a bit of fun putting together this little bonus walkthrough for Halo 3 ODST. and I will see you in the next guide. I do have one more bonus guide to go through on Mombasa Streets. That one is going to be a little bit more in depth to help show you what I would do if I had access to the weapon caches and a larger assortment of weapons. So I will see you guys next time or in any of my other guides. Take care, everyone. Have yourselves a good day or night.